Today, I'll show you the good and bad jump starters that you should and shouldn't be using. Whether it's a super capacitor type of charger or your typical lithium ion. I've tested many jump starters on the job site, whether it's diesel or gasoline, including excavators, bobcats, bulldozers, and much more. Now guys, you can see I have plenty of testing equipment, whether it's load testers, analyzers, battery analyzers that is, amp probes, fluke, automotive meters, and not the generic ones either. I mean, these guys are accurate down to the T. Let's take a look at the Blue Fuel Jump Starter Pack. Lithium iron phosphate 12,000 milliamp hour battery. Input 12 volt, 1 amp output, 12 volt DC. Cranking current 400 amp peak, 270 amp cranking. USB 5 volt DC, 2 amp, 12 volt DC, 12 volt DC. Memory saver up to 6 amp, 8 amp overload protection. Autowit Super Cat 2 Jump Starter. Now input micro USB 5 volt 2 amp, DC port 6.5 amp, output 12 volt, max discharge 800 peak amp, start voltage 12 volt, capacity 21,000 milliamp hour. Now let's go ahead and you can see we have this battery analyzer. Go ahead, connect it. Let's see how long it takes to charge this super capacitor. Charging 12.2 volts at 23%. Once it's fully charged, all we have to do is hit this jump start button. Then it will give us a countdown timer for 10 seconds. And once it hits the buzzer on the 10 seconds, we can go ahead and perform the test. Healthy, 100%, 100% charge. Says 847 cold cranking amps, 13.78 volts. Alrighty then. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next one. And guys, if anything, it's used a little bit of power to do so. But you saw when it was over 12 volts, I admit, it was really fast to charge. Alright, now let's go ahead and make sure we have everything ready for testing. Tester reset, battery test. So we'll go ahead and enter regular flooded battery, MCA. It doesn't say cold cranking amps. This is marine cranking amps, which basically they just use different numbers for this, but you can still use that to get the cold cranking amps. It's no different. This marine battery is just a typical lead acid battery. 625. As you can see, that's what the battery's rated for, and that's what the other test was performed at. So, 100%. Testing battery. 324 co-cranking amps. Healthy 26%, charge 46%. Okay guys, I'm definitely not too impressed with this Fox speed. Okay, time for my other jump starter, the blue fuel jump starter. Okay, it also shows the voltage, which is pretty cool. And I've learned what I like to do is, since the jump starter is at its most power, obviously when you first use it, and you may not be able to access any more power with the typical jump starter, what I prefer to do is to allow the voltage to at least climb a little bit higher, especially in a really cold situation where it's well below freezing and so forth, just to ensure you get it right the first time. Trust me, it will go a long ways and make a really big difference. I've seen a few people get in a hurry, end up spending more time, well, then get stranded, and well, you know how that goes. Jump start ready. I wanted you guys to see the temperature as well. You can tell that it is the high 50s out here. Even the jump starter is a low 50s. Believe it or not, you start to lose a little bit, even for lithium batteries, once they go above 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So when it's about 78 degrees Fahrenheit, then you lose a significant amount of energy, around 20% reduction. Let's go ahead, give it a try, see how it does. This one's definitely at a disadvantage. I've had it for um, quite some time, actually. It's about time for it to throw in the towel. That's why I wanted to perform these tests to find out for sure which way I needed to go. One that's never failed me in many situations, or try something new that may have some different advantages. So here we go. Look at that. 444 on the co-cranking amp. 50% health, charge 98%. Definitely done well. It would appear this one and the other Autowit capacitor perform pretty good. Now, I've seen a lot of great tests, and if you want to see some other in-depth comparison, make sure to check out Project Farm on YouTube. Guys, you saw that, and you saw the Autowit. Two big disadvantages. What? You may end up having to wait for a really long time if your battery's drained at all. Now, if you just go in Walmart a few minutes, leave it on, it's barely dead, just like say a little bit above 12 volts, you won't have to wait long at all, and you should be fine. You notice it even said good battery as well. Healthy, 50%. And this battery's been outside for, well, a matter of years, and it's not been used, guys. So, I'm actually pretty impressed. It would appear the Fox speed just pulls battery power at the last second and doesn't actually work on building the charge much, which is definitely not good. Now, in many cases, you're going to actually need that extra little bit. And unfortunately for the Autowit, unless you can start it in like 2 seconds. That's another disadvantage of the Autowit. Just not being able to start it in a couple seconds. You're in big trouble. Then you knock the voltage even lower. You're going to have to wait longer. But in cold temperatures, really cold temperatures, and you always have to leave the charger outside of something, and you're not allowing it to get too bad off, the Autowit might be exactly for you guys. So preferably, I prefer the lithium chargers, and I've kept it for many years. Each time I'm going with the same brand, like I say, around 5-6 years, guys, even longer. So I have no stake in it. I'm not selling anything. You can buy which one you guys prefer the best. Now, thank you for watching Nate's Interactive Auto.